Hey, hey. All right, Capricorns, let's go ahead and jump on into a storytelling. Capricorns, I am already celebrating Year of the Dragon since that is 2024. It's a Year of the Wood Dragon. Granted, that doesn't start until February 10th for the Chinese Zodiac New Year, but I still just wanted to. I don't know. I'm real excited about this. Lots of stuff to do with, I think of dragons as associated with dreams, but it's kind of a year that could be more focused on inspiration, action taking. And I really enjoyed this backdrop in particular. We notice that we've got a little fellow here walking across a bridge and he's facing his dragon, right? And the dragon to me is like that encouragement of like, hey, it's time to live large. It's time to go after hopes, wishes, dreams. So that's kind of the concept that I'm starting with. By the way, Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, so we start out with a 7 of coins. 7 of coins is going to be a nice, strong message of having worked really hard and already having a chance to harvest. We've got a 10 of wands. So I'm wondering if our Capricorn has actually already reached a level of success and a level that they should be able to just really enjoy, and yet maybe they're not giving themselves the fair amount of celebratory energy that they really do deserve. King of Wands, we got the vibe of not just success now, but a passionate energy coming in. I want to say this. I think we're telling a story right now of a Capricorn who's already worked their little fingers to the bone, and they have reached a point where they deserve a lot of recognition and a lot of success and maybe a lot of love to come their way, but they're only just now ready to receive it. They're becoming aware of it, though. It's time for the harvest. It's time to lay down the continual burdensome grind of the day-to-day and working really, really hard and saying, well, someday I'll get to see the results of all my labor. It just probably won't be yet, because we got a King of Wands that is coming in loud and clear. This is somebody, 8 of Swords in the reverse. I feel like this King of Wands looks right at the Capricorn and is like, babe, how do you not see how fantastic you are? How do you not see what you really are here? This is somebody who's like a little bit in awe of what Capricorn has accomplished. And maybe this is exactly who Capricorn needs to finally rub their little eyeballs and polish them so they can see clearly. Wipe off, I don't know why I want to say wipe off their glasses, because maybe they haven't been able to see themselves in the light that this character sees them in. This is somebody warm, loving. They could be a Leo, Sag, or Aries. Could be a masculine, does not have to be. It could be a feminine just as easily. But it's somebody who I think is taking the lead in trying to open up, and it's almost like everything is converging just right. Capricorn has become aware that they've done well for themselves. I'm going to say they've achieved a lot in like recent times, recent years, recent days. And one of the signs of their achievement is they finally feel like, I feel better about things. I feel like if I had karmic debts, I paid them off. I feel like I'm a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. The only thing is this Capricorn is still being so humble, and it takes someone on the outside of Capricorn looking right at them to tell them, like, see yourself through my eyes. You're fantastic. You're handsome. You're beautiful. You're attractive. You're sexy. They finally feel ready to open up and say these things. I feel like Capricorn's going to know by the look in this person's eyes how they feel about the Capricorn. They're unblocking their emotions. They're unblocking their heart. They feel like, I don't know why, but it just feels like maybe 2024 is a year where people stop fronting. Maybe that's the way to say it. Like characters are not fronting anymore. They're just like, when they admire and appreciate someone's strength and beauty, they're ready to just go ahead and say it. This King of Wands is some kind of a warrior who maybe they had gone through their own difficulties, but they too are in a really good energetic space. Maybe still a little bit, fragile around the edges, just a smidge, because a wounded warrior like this is someone who's like, whew, I'm kind of sitting down, catching my breath just a little bit. But it's somebody who is like really ready to go ahead and open up and really ready to go ahead and say, I would fight for this. Heck yeah, I would definitely fight for this. Lance, thanks for being here. We actually only barely begun. We've only had 5 cards out so far. So if you guys are just tuning in, welcome. We're not too deep into this storyline yet, just about 5 minutes deep. We've got, okay, we have the distractor now, or we have the, I'll say the mild issue that pops up over here. This is on Capricorn's side of the equation. They are pretending to themselves, or maybe they really have moved on, but someone is pretending to Capricorn that they have let Capricorn go. This is not this amazing king. I like this king over here. This is somebody else on Capricorn's side. If Capricorn moved on from something, either they are lying to themselves, saying, I'm free and clear of this, when they know darn well someone might still be, this could be an ex, hovering around, still watching them, pretending it's over, but always still intending to pop back up in Capricorn's life. Or it's Capricorn themselves saying, I've grown so much, I'm really over that ex. And this kind of says there's a little bit of a lie about that, only because there's something still hiding in the shadows. And I don't mean that to sound ominous, but it might just be annoying. We've got this Fool card sideways. We've got this 10 of Pentacles. Let me put it this way. To me, this looks like a story where if our Capricorn is leaving behind exes, things that didn't work out very well, that's awesome. But the thing that didn't work out very well is still keeping tabs on Capricorn. And it looks like they're biding their time. And the day Capricorn puts their final pentacle, it looks like Capricorn is going to be making some cash, some bank. Looks like they've got a very productive year, a very financially productive year. We have the 7 of Pentacles leading to 2 10s. We see Capricorn, moving forward. Anytime a character is, in that time frame where they've worked hard and they've been harvesting things and they've been building themselves a new life and building money, this Capricorn could have already moved. They could have, reinvented themselves, invested in some other kind of, like knowledge base, and they're seeing the payouts for everything that they've done. It almost looks like there is some little, I'm going to call it an ex or some little gremlin over here who's not out of Capricorn's energy field because they watch from the shadows. And although they're not taking a leap of faith yet, it's because they're biding their time. This is somebody who's probably going to pop back up in Capricorn's life at a moment where Capricorn has like a particularly awesome day. They hear through the grapevine that Capricorn, or maybe Capricorn posts something on social media about like, can't believe it, just got that raise, can't believe it, I'm able to move into a much better place. It's like as their as their life is obviously expanding, going up many notches, that's the moment that someone is over here in the shadows waiting for, because they want to. I feel like this is a character. I'm sorry to describe kind of like our little villain over here, but it's somebody, it's more like a Klingon. Okay. Somebody who wants to cling on to Capricorn's success, and they are waiting, watching, monitoring. And when Capricorn gets to a certain like really awesome day, one fine day where everything's going just right, that's when this person is probably going to take that leap to suddenly reach out to Capricorn. They're biding their time. Thing is, I think Capricorn knows this in the back of their mind. They know they haven't heard the last from this person. So Capricorn might already be wise to this. Let's go turn to the, everything else looks so good here, but let's turn to the universe and say, universe, give Capricorn a little bit of, guidance on that. Oh, okay. So Capricorn, don't tangle with anybody who ain't an emperor. Anyone who's coming in as that Klingon energy, anybody who's popping up only when the sun is shining and Capricorn's rolling in the money, this is like, handle it like an emperor would. Ask oneself, is this person coming in as an emperor? What are they really showing up for? Because if Capricorn uses that as the standard, right, as like the gold star, are they acting as an emperor? What are they offering? How are they showing up in my life? Also, what would an emperor do? Capricorn, an emperor is benevolent. They hear people out. But an emperor's idea is, I'm responsible for my empire. I cannot afford to make bad decisions. The success of my empire and everyone that I'm responsible for depends upon me making good decisions. So I can't afford to be someone who just let's put it in like old fashioned context. Say an emperor is overseeing his kingdom, and his entire kingdom has worked very hard all year to produce enough food that will take them through the winter successfully, and built a really successful world. And then somebody else shows up and says, hi, I can see that you have a lot, so I really need at least 50% of what you've got, because I need to eat too. This emperor is going to be like, well, I'm sorry, but I can share some things, but you can come and work in my empire if you'd like, and then you can enjoy the benefits. And they're like, no, I just want you to give me 50% of what you just built. This emperor is probably going to be like, no, I have a strong responsibility to the people who've already worked very hard that are part of this empire. So you are welcome to be here and work hard with us, but you can't just knock on the door and say you'd like 50% of what we just built. That's just not how that works. You got to put in your own effort. So I feel like if Capricorn is going to be having somebody who shows up in their world, either demanding part of it or showing up, and Capricorn has to determine, what do I do with this person? It's like, use maybe the mentality of the emperor. It's to be kind, it's to be fair, but it's also to have accountability. An emperor is like, the only way you can be an emperor is if you're seriously responsible. And I can't give to people that won't be responsible. That wouldn't give you any assistance anyway. It would just teach you to keep coming back and, wanting me to carry you on my back instead of you ever working for something. So no. So I think, it sounds like tough love, but how else does an emperor handle, these requests, especially from somebody who's been hiding in the shadow, waiting for Capricorn to get to the 10 of Pentacles and then come in like, hi, I'd like some of your wealth. I'd like some of your abundance. Again, with this 8 of Wands, I kind of feel like this kind of says Capricorn might have more than one person who shows up in their life wanting some of their success. And again, this is communication, open communication that could cause a bit of a kerfuffle. And it probably won't be the last time that Capricorn has to, entertain all of these requests from someone or a group of someones who want some of Capricorn's abundance. And they're probably going to have to, sift to the bottom of it, be as benevolent as they can, but also having boundaries in place. That's what that looks like to me, is what the universe says. It's not to be mean. It's not to roll one's eyes. It's not to assume that, oh my gosh, this person is just terrible. It's more to give everyone that, see them as a human first, but also a human that lays out accountability for situations, especially when someone is coming in and it's now that Capricorn has a lot going for them and this person wants some of what Capricorn's built. So let's turn our attention for a moment back over here, because I really liked this storyline. It's interesting that we have a very productive time frame or a very productive year for this Capricorn. And so it's kind of like the universe has been preparing them to deal with the hurdles that they may encounter. But now let's also talk about that really lovely energy that's over here, where this is someone who has worked hard themselves. This King of Wands, who is looking at Capricorn with very real eyes, very warm, very soft eyes. They've gone through some kind of a tremendous ending here with that 10 of Swords. And then we see them with the 8 of Wands also. To me, this looks very much like we have Capricorn's going to have conversations with different types of people throughout the year. And the reason I say it that way is because we got the 8 of Wands twice. The universe prepares Capricorn to deal with people that are just there to take from them. But we also see they'll be having communication with someone who's very opposite that. This is someone who's had their own setbacks in life, but they got themselves out of their own jam. They turned themselves into a true king. They turned themselves into a warrior. They ended the things that they needed to in life, and they are now ready to communicate with the Capricorn. You know what this is looking like is Capricorn's going to be able to see the difference between maybe an ex who comes back who's just like, hey, sexy, and they just want to kind of get a piece of Capricorn's action, and really it's to kind of freeload, versus somebody who's like, man, I admire what you've done with your life. I went through something similar, and it's been a long road for me to get my life back in order. That's two very different people approaching two different ways. Now, this King of Wands may be saying the same thing, hey, sexy, but they have built themselves into an actual king. They haven't been hiding in the shadows like this character has been. So it really is being able to see the difference between someone who's more mature versus someone who's been waiting for Capricorn's bank account to mature. I'm sorry. It's Capricorn gets a chance to look at the two different people. We've got the Death card and we've got the Four of Swords. If this is a story about Capricorn's fortune turning very favorable in the year and them being pursued respectfully by someone that Capricorn can look in their eyes and see how much they like Capricorn, versus somebody who shows back up now that Capricorn's doing really well in their life, Capricorn's going to say goodbye to that person in a permanent way, I think. Death card is very much, this is the end of the road, and Capricorn gets a final chance to really heal from something. I think sometimes it's nice when those characters from the past show back up, simply because it gives our lead character an opportunity to reflect and say, wow, this is who you were in the past. This is still who you're coming back as now. You didn't help me grow. You didn't help me build anything. But now that I'm successful, here you are. Versus this brand new character who has a lot of respect, who's also had self-respect, and they've built their own life into a sense of stability. And I can see the difference between the two. So thank you, X, for showing back up so that I can close a chapter and I can fully heal, because I've been able to compare the two side by side. And I think that's what this message is it can be a real blessing to see someone from the past popping back up, which is not often, that we look at that as such a positive, but here it was a super big benefit. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to be trying to get to as many of the different zodiacs as I can tonight until my lungs get tired. So I will see you guys in the next. I think I've got to jump over and do Gemini next, because I promised that earlier. And then we'll probably get to Taurus and maybe a few water signs tonight. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.